The McKinney fire is raging out of control.
And this morning, crews are really struggling to contain the flames while facing heat, thunderstorms, and wind that could make the fire even bigger.
California wildfires. A new fire has sparked in Northern California, known as the McKinney fire. The U.S. Forest Service says it's burning in Siskiyou County and has grown about 300 acres. Take a look at this time-lapse video of the fire from last night. Officials now saying this fire has jumped Highway 96. Evacuation orders now extended all the way up to the Oregon border. Officials say thunderstorms in the area are impacting how the fire is behaving.
The last thing that we heard before going to bed that night was that someone had seen lightning strike down and a fire had started in its place. I had woken up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and it smelled like there was a campfire right outside of our tent. I threw open our rain fly, but it was pitch black outside. No sign of a fire anywhere. And so I did my business and eventually fell back asleep. We woke up particularly early in the morning and the air was thick with smoke. We knew something was wrong. After hiking for a bit, we met a day hiker that told us there was a serious wildfire nearby, and local Forest Service were evacuating the area. Once we had hiked uphill a bit and came to a clearing, we could see the terrifying fire. The hills off to our right were covered in thick smoke, and you couldn't even see the tops of the next hill over. I knew how dangerous wildfires could be, and we quickly heeded the warnings. We sent a message to our friends ahead of us with our unfortunate news, and checked our map for the nearest trailhead that might help us escape the area. Luckily, there was a spur trail a few miles ahead, so we decided to take it. When we got to the trailhead, there was a single truck parked at the end of a dirt road, and no other human activity in sight. We were at the bottom of a few good-sized hills, and none of us had cell service. Even our emergency communication devices weren't sending messages. After a few hours, we were able to send and receive a handful of messages. I was coordinating with my mom, who was reaching out to local forest services to see if we could be evacuated. We had a group of at least a dozen thru hikers at this point, and our new friends were communicating with a local trail angel in Etna, where we had just left a few days earlier, and they were on their way, but were about 2 hours out and weren't sure if their vehicle could make it on the dirt roads. So we all began our 13-mile hike to the nearest paved road. After a while, that single truck came rumbling down the road and asked if we needed a ride. It was amazing to see 15 hikers in their gear cram into this truck, but grateful to be escaping the ever-increasing smoke. After another half hour or so, we were met by our wonderful trail angel who split the load with the big truck, giving all of us a bit more breathing room and a safe ride back to Etna. On the drive out, we watched the smoke cover the hills that we had literally just been hiking through on the Pacific Crest Trail.
What's up, Sriracha?
You in town again.
What town?
Etna.
For the what time?
Second time.
Third time.
The McKinney fire went from charring just several hundred acres on Friday to torching more than 52,000 acres on Sunday, destroying over 100 structures and killing at least 2 people. Residents in more than 100 homes ordered evacuated as the fire threatened to cut off escape routes. Search and rescue crews rushing to rescue dozens of hikers along the Pacific Crest Trail over the weekend. The smoke began to reduce visibility levels to just 20 feet. First responders have been forced to fight against the flames and the weather. This time-lapse video showing an eerie sight. The fire generating so much heat and smoke, it created its own weather system. Lightning colliding with the bright red sky. And now with more evacuations expected, there are concerns the weather could quickly change the direction the fire is going. But across this charred landscape, a community is working together.
There are quite a few people that are helping each other. You see the best parts of humans coming out.
Chef caught wind of you guys' predicament and wanted to send some goodies. So there are Jason bars, Snickers bars, Nature Valley, oranges, water, cinnamon rolls. So grab some snacks, grab as many as you want, and then the bus will be here. This is the only one we're sending today, and then the city of Etna is going to take back over tomorrow. So get your ride today, because it's not guaranteed after this. So that's all I have to say.
No Bambis.
So tiny. Come here, baby.
No, don't come here.
The babies. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. They're like teeny tiny too.
And back to Edna we headed. But now, due to the fire, the border was closed, and the only way to get there was through a car. So I came up with a plan to call my family to come pick us up. But not to take us home, but to take us to Medford, Oregon, to get away from the smoke and in theory to get away from fires. Now that we were in Oregon, we had two choices. We could go back on the PCT or head to a familiar trail where a few years back I had proposed to Sarah. So we decided to skip up to Three Sisters Wilderness